Hello and welcome to this channel. In this episode I will cover the checkpoint command of the Aruba 8400 series switches. So this video is part of the AOS-CX CLI series. A checkpoint is a snapshot of the running configuration of a switch and its relevant metadata during the time of creation. So what we can do with a checkpoint is it can be used to apply the switch configuration stored within a checkpoint whenever needed, such as to revert to a previous clean configuration. Checkpoints can be applied to other switches of the same platform as well, so they're interoperable. A switch is able to store multiple checkpoints. The 8400 series provides two types of checkpoints. So there is a system generated checkpoint and there's a user generated checkpoint. The system generated checkpoints are automatically generated by the system whenever a configuration change is detected, and a user generated checkpoint is manually created by the user. Let's first check out the system generated checkpoints. Let me log in here into a switch. And so system generated checkpoints are enabled by default. Once the system detects a configuration change, a 300-second timeout counter is initiated. For each additional configuration change, the 300-second timeout counter is reset. Once the timeout limit is reached with no additional configuration changes detected, the system will automatically generate a new checkpoint. This system generated checkpoint is listed as CPC with a timestamp in the list of checkpoints. So let me show you the checkpoints. So if I do a show checkpoint list, you can see the system generated checkpoints here, and you can see that the first three characters of those checkpoint is CPC. And the last part of the file represents the, it's a timestamp. So this would be January 9, 2018 with the time. What I can also do is I can show you the content of one of the system generated checkpoints. So what I do then is show checkpoint, and then just take this one for example. And this shows you the content of that configuration. So let me scroll down a bit. Okay. Now for manually created checkpoints. So user-generated checkpoints must have at least one configuration difference since the last checkpoint was created. Users with sufficient privileges can apply these checkpoints to either the running or startup configurations of the switch. And all user-generated checkpoints include a timestamp that helps you identify when that checkpoint was created. Let me show you how this is done. First, let's make a configuration change. So let's go into configuration mode. Let's configure terminal, or just configure is fine, and change the host name to say 8400. So, and then what we can do now is copy the running config to a checkpoint. And let me show you how that is done. Copy running config to checkpoint, and let's call it initial. Okay, so now if we do show checkpoint list, you can see that there is another checkpoint called initial. And what I can do then is show checkpoint initial, it will show you the configuration within that checkpoint. The other cool thing is that you can also do a show checkpoint and then show the file in JSON format. It's quite a long file, but you can get the configuration in JSON format. You can also compare checkpoints. So for example, if you want to compare a system-generated checkpoint with a user-generated one, you can issue the following command. So let me just do a show checkpoint list first, and then checkpoint diff, and let's take this one first, and then compare it against the initial config. So you can see that the differences are marked with a plus and minus here. So plus would be added, and there is no SSH server VRF management command in the initial config. You can also check a checkpoint with a running or saved configuration. So let me just do it like this. Just give you the question mark, so you can see I can also compare against, for example, the startup config. And because this is a clean switch, there is no startup config yet. So if I do a copy running configuration to startup configuration and then do the comparison again, you can see that the differences are the same. Another cool feature is the rollback function. The term rollback is used to refer to when a switch configuration is reverted to a pre-existing checkpoint. For example, the following command applies the configuration from checkpoint, from one of the system checkpoints, and then all previous configurations are lost after the execution of this command. So when I do a checkpoint, just do a show checkpoint list first, and then checkpoint rollback, and then use the top one. You can see that the configuration has been reverted to the initial configuration. The checkpoint functionality also allows you to automatically roll back to a previous checkpoint. This function is called checkpoint auto mode and lets you configure the switch with failover support. Checkpoint auto mode helps to prevent configuration changes that might cause undesired results, such as connectivity loss or a system failure. After entering checkpoint auto mode, you will have a set amount of time to add, remove, or modify the switch configuration. And then to save the configuration, you must enter the checkpoint auto confirm command before the specified time expires. If you do not enter that checkpoint auto confirm command within the specified time, all configuration changes will be discarded and the running configuration will revert to the state before entering the checkpoint auto mode. Now let me show you how this works. First, you have to enable the checkpoint auto confirm by defining a timeout between 1 and 60 minutes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the checkpoint auto to 1 minute. Auto, let me just do a question mark so you can see the options. So I'm setting it to 1 minute. Now I now have 1 minute to make changes to the configuration. And once I've made the changes, I have to enter the checkpoint auto commit. So let me just quickly make a change. Set the host name to 8400-1. Okay, so if I don't make it in 1 minute, the configuration will be reverted to the previous configuration. So I've made the change and I'm just waiting for the time to expire, which will probably be another 20 seconds. And then once that timer expires, you will see a console message, and the configuration is reverted to the previous configuration. You can see it here. Now let's set the checkpoint auto confirm again and change the setting and confirm using the checkpoint auto confirm command, and then you will see what happens. So let me just do it again. Checkpoint, exit first. Checkpoint auto 1 minute. Just configure and set the host name. And what we do now is we do a checkpoint auto confirm. Now what you can see here is that the configuration is confirmed and a new checkpoint is created. Okay, now let me show you the checkpoint lists. You can see the auto confirm checkpoint in there as well. Okay, so finally, removing or renaming checkpoints is also very easy. Let me show you first how to rename a checkpoint. So, checkpoint rename, and let's use the initial and call it startup. And just do a show checkpoint list again. You can see that we have a startup checkpoint. The auto-confirm checkpoints cannot be renamed, but I can rename a system checkpoint. So let me just do that again. So checkpoint, rename that one to initial. And now this system generated checkpoint has been renamed to initial. And then finally, removing a checkpoint. It's very easy to do that using the erase command. Erase checkpoint, let's say startup. And now that configuration is erased. And let me show you what happens when I erase a system generated that is also supported, and erase checkpoint, and just take this one. That's also supported. So erasure of all types of checkpoints are supported. You can only rename system generated and user generated checkpoints. Now this concludes this short demonstration video on how to work with the checkpoint function on the 8400. I hope you find this useful. If you did, please like the video, and if you have any comments or requests, please let us know. Have a great day.